What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Power Sports Steve, and again today we're at Extreme Power Sports in Opelika, Alabama. Yes, I have a bum arm. I had a dirt bike accident a couple weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago today, and basically blew out my elbow, and I'm all screwed and pinned back together. So, short of that, today we're going to look at the 2024 Uforce 1000 from Cfmoto. If you haven't heard of Cfmoto, you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years for sure. They're really on the gas in the market. They make side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, all the fun stuff, right? No, they're not a Japanese company. A lot of people like to point that out, that they're not a Honda, they're not a Polaris, they're not a Can-Am, etc. I understand that, but they are the best price point in the market. Cfmoto is the #1 ATV brand being sold overseas, say in Europe right now, and they have gained a ton of traction in the U.S. market as well. I myself have a Uforce 1000 out at the house. I've had one now for about a year out there. I use it, I wouldn't say I use it weekly, but close to weekly. A lot of stuff I'm doing at the house, and I'm going to do a video one of these days of kind of showing you how I use it, what I do with it, give a review of what I've done to it as far as, maintenance and all that kind of stuff. And just for the record, I haven't touched it, folks. When I say I haven't touched it, I haven't touched it. No problems whatsoever. We've sold a ton of these Uforces, 600s and 1000s at this store, and I don't even know how many I've sold in the last couple of years. It's mind-boggling, to be honest with you. So you really need to check one out. If you're not familiar with Cfmoto, also they have some joint partnerships with KTM, building some of their small engines, and then also with Yamaha as well. The Yamaha partnership's actually pretty new, but that's in place, and they're doing some stuff with them. So you need to take a look at them, give them a chance. There's some stuff, they got some quirks. I'm not gonna lie, they do have some quirks when it comes down to the machine that you get as far as, power, features, technology, all that kind of stuff, and you start looking at the price. This is the best price point on the market, folks. I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter. This is the best price point. I hate to, compare prices, but if we're gonna compare prices, say to this versus what it comes with, and for the same horsepower, as in a Polaris, for example, retail to retail, folks, we're talking a big chunk of money that I could almost have a free dirt bike. Okay, let's put it that way. Is it on par long term over 20 years of ownership with a Polaris? I'm not going to say that it is, but for the average person, this is going to do anything and everything you ever want to do and probably give you no problems. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. So real quick, enough of me jibber jabbering about nothing. Let's grab the camera and let's take a little closer look. So this is the 2024 camo. Really like their camo pattern. I call that, I'm not sure what they actually call it. Let me see if they actually give it a name. I can't remember if they actually call it something, but it's like a real tree package. It's kind of the camo that I call it. It's got the green leaf in there as well. Super cool looking machine. So I'll just point out a couple things real quick. Obviously you see it's already got the synthetic rope, 4,500 pound winch on the front with the fairlead there. It's also got the hitch on the front. 2-inch receiver right there, so you can put a hook up to a trailer and move it around. It's a lot easier to do so when it's on the front like that, if you're trying to put a ski in the water or something like that. Really cool feature. It does have LED headlights and everything as well. Real nice wheel pattern. This is just a plain black wheel. It does have 27-inch tall tires on it. Really good tires. I have not changed the tires or anything on my machine. It does come with the top on it as well. Of course, some of the 2025 Polarises are coming with winches and tops. I wonder where they got that idea. I'm not going to say that it was Cfmoto, but very well could be. Looking at the vehicle, nice size bed, LED lights on the back. It does have the one latch on the back, so you can operate that one-handed. Of course, I only have one hand for the camera, so we're not going to do that. 2-inch hitch on the back. So, real quick, look at that. 2,500 pound tow capacity, folks. That's pretty strong in the industry. Yes, the new Polaris Ranger XD is going to 3,500, but that's a whole other animal, and that's not a vehicle we're going to compare this to. If we look in the bed, it does have your tow hooks on the back. It's got the little holes in the bed, right? It's got a similar system to what everybody else has, Can-Am, Polaris, etc. They're kind of their lock and ride type stuff. I've got a nice rack on the back of mine, and it's been real handy for tools and all that kind of stuff. This is a 3-seat vehicle, so it does have 3 seat belts in it, okay? Center right there does fold down. We're going to hopefully show you that in a second with my one arm, if at all possible. Show you how the seats raise, slide, all that kind of fun stuff. One thing I want to point out, it does come with mirrors on it, right? So kind of cool. Most of the other vehicles, you got to add the mirrors, but it does come with mirrors on it. Does not have a rear view mirror. We can add one of those on there for you as well. No big deal. Floor does have the drains in it. You can pop those out for when you're washing it. And it's got this textured floor on it, which I really love. A lot of the machines out there do not have this. It's just kind of a smooth plastic. The smooth plastic gets really, really slick when you got mud and water and everything you're dealing with. This is going to help you not twist an ankle when you're getting out of this thing. Let's see if I can lift the seat up. Well, I've got one bad hand on the camera. See if that'll sit. So, and it's probably going to fall off. But anyway, you can see that the seat kind of hinges up. It will just come off, and I'm trying not to disconnect it so I don't have to move anything. You got access to your ECU and all that kind of fun stuff right there. It does have, well, I'm just going to leave the seat sit. It does have this little tackle box thing. I'll call it kind of a toolbox if you want to call it that. That just kind of comes out. You've got access to more maintenance right there. This can be used for, you know, packing your lunch if you wanted to, packing your tackle box gear, you know, if you want to go fishing. It's got pretty good storage in here. Put this back together. It's kind of like what Cfmoto, kind of what Can-Am does with theirs. Their dash has got a little piece that can be removed. That's similar if you want to go down that road. Does have the glove box on the side, of course. It's not good for my elbow, not gonna lie. Toolkit, owner's manual, all that stuff's already inside there. That's what all that stuff is. Does have the cutouts down here, right? So you can put stuff in there as well. Stick some tools, pair of gloves, etc. Little cubby up on top, 2 cup holders there. Of course, cup holder here on the side. Let's go over to the other side. Go ahead and get in this vehicle. I didn't mention it, but it does have an e-brake right there, so you can set that. E-brakes are not that great if you ask me on this stuff, but it is what it is. All right, folks, we're going to turn the key up, power up the display here. Really nice display. All your indicators across the side there, of course, and then, of course, Cfmoto. 2 different work modes. You got a work mode and normal mode. Folks, I'm going to hit this for the 83rd time with Cfmoto. If you get on my video and you tell me work mode is the fastest, I'm going to ban you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really not, but real talk. That may have been the things prior to 23, maybe 22 and older, I don't know. But I can tell you from owning a 23 and from all the stuff I ride around here, the normal position is the fastest, okay? Work mode's just it. Work, detuned, just not as jerky, none of that fun stuff, okay? So, normal, fast, work, work. Work means I'm not going to go too fast, right? There you go. Don't tell me it's opposite. I'm going to tell you right now, come by the shop and I'll prove it to you. If you take this thing for a ride, you will see that it is the quickest in normal, I promise you. Real quick, a couple things on here, USB outlet and 12-volt port on here as well. But back to the dash. So when I change the work and the normal here, it's actually going to change the display. See, it says work. It's going to go up to normal, and it actually changes the dash display, which is kind of cool. I like the look of the normal better myself. It's got your tach across the top, speedometer in the middle, gear indicator in the middle down on the bottom, and then below that you've got your odometer, tachometer. To the left you've got your voltage output and your temp, and then across the way on the right hand lower corner you got your fuel gauge on there. All right. And on the left hand side of the speedometer there, see if I can get my hand in here, it's a little tough, sorry. 4-wheel drive indicator right there. So the 4-wheel drive on this guy, got a switch, can't hardly see it right there. You got a switch right here. All the way across the left is going to be 2-wheel drive, in the middle is 4-wheel drive, and on the right far side is going to be diff lock on the front, okay? So that means all-wheel drive, all tires are going to pull when you do that, okay? It's not a kind of a slip and pull, it's going to lock them in, and that's that. If you want to change all this stuff, you got some buttons. You can actually, I'm going to do this one first. You can change it, see the trip at the bottom changing. All right, hours, how bright it is, your fuel. That's pretty much it. It's also flashing, telling me I need to put my seatbelt on. We're not going to worry about that right now. Transmission, typical CVT transmission, park, reverse, neutral, high range, low range, all that fun stuff. If you don't know this, folks, low range is your friend. So if you're using it around the house like me, I probably haven't been in high range 15, 20 times, I bet you. I'm almost always in low range around my house because I'm hauling rock, hauling mulch, driving the kids around the woods. That's about all I'm doing. I always use low range. It's better for your transmission, better for your belt. You're not going to get the belt as hot, all that kind of stuff. And you're not going to be hollering and screaming at your dealer because your machine burned up your belt. If you don't know about that, there's plenty of videos out there about belts and all that fun stuff I'm not going to get into. There's a latch right here for tilt as well, so it does have the tilt wheel on it. It doesn't telescope or anything like that. Speaking of tilting and moving, it's got a latch right here on the driver's side, so you just kind of push that down. You can slide it forward, and of course push it all the way back. Folks, I am 6'3" and plenty of leg room, right? See that? Plenty of leg room. Lights, of course on and off, high beam, low beam, all that stuff. Driving lights on it as well. And man, let's start it up. Oh, I think nope, it didn't. So if you don't prime the fuel pump correctly on this thing, and I say correctly, basically let the fuel pump prime, this thing will start right up. For some reason, if you don't do that right, cycle it right, it just doesn't want to start as good. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Never had a problem with my machine starting. I've just noticed at the house that just seems to be the way that it is. Sounds pretty good. We'll rev it up a little bit. Let's get out, see if you can hear it a little bit with the microphone. Again, look at that, nice LED tail lights. Machine sounds good, nice and quiet. It is not loud whatsoever. All right. I didn't lift the bed up, but we can do that. It's got the latch right there. There's one on each side, one over there as well. What I like about Cfmoto is it's got these little flaps right here, which is cool. So a lot of machines don't have this. All the mud and water just splashes up into everything, makes it a big, big mess. This is going to keep your engine bay much, much cleaner, folks. There's some aftermarket parts for some of the other models that are out on the market that you can get. Highly recommend getting them. It just keeps your engine bay so much cleaner. Airbox air filter, everything's up on top, which is nice. Going to keep everything out of the mud and water as much as possible, okay? That's really about it. I'm not going to get into a lot of the maintenance stuff. I just don't have time for that. So anyway, folks, I'd appreciate if you give me a like and a subscribe. Check us out on the channel. We're going to have a lot more videos coming. I'm probably going to maybe do a Pioneer video today as well. We'll see if I have time for that and what is going on at the shop. So appreciate you liking. Take care. See y'all.